Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
My sister Kate, 26, is getting married this August. It would be a summer wedding, so instead of doing it somewhere under the sun, feeling all fresh and burnt, they decided to book a palace-like hall for the wedding. My sister is a huge fan of the Kardashians, so she wanted her wedding to be just like Kim's wedding. The same decoration, the outfits, everything would be copy-pasted from them. Altogether, we are 3 sisters. We had always dreamt of the day when we would be each other's bridesmaids and have a blast together. Kate has always been the expensive child, but she was everyone's sweetheart, so whatever she asked for was fulfilled. Me, on the other hand, was the neglected one. But I didn't care that much because I'm the older sister, and as the older one, I had to be my own parent. Everyone is excited for her wedding. We all have been contributing with some help. I promised to pay for the band and music during the reception, and my other sister covered up for the catering. My parents bought the over-the-top expensive dress, and the groom's parents paid for the decoration. The only expense they had to pay for was the venue, and that was the least expensive thing of everything. As she was the youngest, she's always spoiled with things, and no matter what you have fulfilled, whatever she asked for, and don't expect anything in return for the effort you put in for her. So she made a girl, who she started hanging out with 2 months ago, her maid of honor, and my other sister was hurt because we were supposed to make each other the maid of honor in our respective wedding. So with this disappointment, she made it clear that she will be attending the wedding just as a normal guest, as she also is busy the day before the wedding and she can't attend the rehearsals for the same. So I had no choice but to fill up the last place as her bridesmaid because none of anyone else was available that day, and no one wanted to put up with Kate and her demands. What I didn't know was this whole thing was going to be some themed wedding. She is obsessed with celebrities, so she wanted everyone to show up like one. She really thought that she was Kim Kardashian. So what she did was made it clear to her bridesmaid to act like they are the Kardashian sisters, and just made everyone copy each sister's style. She wanted me to look and style like Courtney. Okay, I'm not a fan, and getting hair dyed and getting a cut and spending on makeup artists and buying designer clothes is plain ridiculous to me. No way am I wasting my money like that. I did ask her to pay for everything, and she refused, saying that they were on a budget, and when I was paying for the whole expensive band and DJ, it's even crazy to think I would care to look and turn myself into some reality star that I don't care about. This was her first and second demand for me, to have a spot in her wedding that I am paying for. The third one was just where she crossed the line. Later that evening, my mom and her called me to the porch to sit with them and have a little conversation with me, where I was told if I wanted to be my sister's bridesmaid, I have to uninvite my boyfriend to the wedding because my sister used to like him before getting engaged. I was just asking myself what in Jesus' name she was talking about. So basically, she liked my boyfriend of 2 years while she had a boyfriend of 4 years. I was just wondering if she was okay with all of it, and she said that she understands how hurt she would feel to see my boyfriend there. That was it. No way in hell I am letting my boyfriend stand any closer to her. I gave them my answer and told them I don't care about being her bridesmaid and she can turn anyone else in. And she started yelling at me and calling me a bitch and selfish for ruining her wedding and not letting her live her dream. When I talked back and said I would be coming to her wedding, but just as a guest, and yes, my boyfriend would be coming over too as my date, she started crying to my mother, who asked me to pick between being invited to the wedding and not bringing my date over, or not being invited to the wedding and making things difficult between the family. Look, I don't really have patience or time, so I just picked not being invited to the wedding. So I informed them and told them I won't be paying for the band or reception either, as I have nothing to do with it, and it all sounds like a waste of money to me, and I left the house. I could hear my sister crying and my mom calling me names, and they being messy in general. I immediately called the band and explained the whole situation and canceled my booking, and I also got the refund of booking charges as I reached out to them through referrals and got my money back. I called my other sister, and she is just plain disgusted by the whole incident and our mom to even think of calling me selfish, and she also has decided to not go for the wedding and calls the caterers to cancel her booking too. Our mom kicked her and me from the group chat, and later our aunt and cousin, who took a stand for us, were also kicked out. We don't really care about her being sad about us ruining Kate's wedding. She needs to come out of her headspace. Everything was harmless till my mom contacted my landlord, who is my mother's friend, and had me kicked out and gave me 2 days to find a place. I had the contract for at least 2 more months, but as it is mentioned in our agreement that in case of her personal urgency, she can ask me to move out any moment. I knew that she did this because she is indebted to my mother as she borrowed some money and hasn't been able to give it back. So basically, I'm homeless, and I will get my money that I paid in advance back, of course. I had to threaten her about lawyers and cops. I am basically homeless, and as my boyfriend lives in another city, I can't possibly stay with him. I have only 2 days to find a new place. The situation is tight for me, and yeah, I will probably get through it too. I told my sister about the whole thing that Kate and Mom did to me and warned her that they might come after her too. So she too is double-checking all of Mom's favor, meaning the very little that she's helped her in. She is chill anyways. She doesn't care, and she has enough resources and power to beat both my mom and Kate's evil plans. I used the day off I took for my sister's wedding and changed the off dates to the next week so I can go spend some time with my boyfriend and search for a house. Okay, here's the thing. Me and my boyfriend wanted things to be a little more serious, so I applied at a company in my city that my boyfriend lives in, and it pays better, so I have actually planned to shift here permanently, and I don't want to bump into my mom or Kate as they live around 15 minutes from my office. So, in every way, this decision sounds better. And my other sister is also expecting a child, and that really explains the whole she doesn't care attitude from her, and she will be closer to me now, and we can hang out often. From what I know from mutual friends and everyone, Kate has been struggling with the budget for her all-glam wedding, and her friends are just making it difficult for her, and my mom has tried to guilt-trip us into coming back and providing, but, both of us don't care. I like this no-contact situation more, and I would never forget how she tried to humiliate me by pulling such stunts on me. Another update. I have moved in with my boyfriend and have started a new life with him. We kind of live together, and I also started my new job, and I can honestly feel so much more free with all these changes that's been happening in my life since. I'm really thankful for my other sister and her boyfriend. They really helped us a lot through the whole shifting and adjusting to the new life. I quit my job soon after that week off, and everything just happened. About the wedding, so basically, from what I heard from the mutual friend, all of it was a disaster. Her clothes, makeup, everything. So to make everything into the budget, they decided for an open area wedding. And somehow, the sun was in full rage that day. They had people falling and just being annoyed because of the heat and sweating and the stink. The gown my sister wore was polyester and a cheap knockoff with some really thick fabric and somehow ended up burning her skin. And for reception food, they had a local high schoolish band come over and sing. From what I've seen on Facebook, it was okay for their budget. And for food, they had sandwiches and smoothies with small pieces of cake that they got from Walmart's. Low-key must have felt like a funeral. They got married, though, at the reception. Remember the girl she made maid of honor after knowing her for 2 months? She and the groom were caught getting physical, and from what I've heard from the friend, they both got drunk and kissed in front of the whole guests present at that moment. A lot of people were excluded from the list. I don't know if they'll get a divorce, but I always saw it coming. They were never in a healthy relationship, and both have cheated on each other before, and the only reason I think they'll stay in is because they don't really have any basic foundation of whatever love is all about in that relationship. OP's sister has to be the dumb blonde of the 3 of them. And your mother needs some serious knock on her head to make her realize that she's only ruining her own child's future by spoiling her, and the good thing you refuse to pay for things and everything. The Kardashians are entertainers, and they live a life that most of us can only dream of. It's great that your sister cut them all off and got out of the way quietly. I hope the whole wedding gets cancelled. So basically, they are both cheaters. I am sure the mom cheated too. Like, how can someone be this mean to their own sister? And it's just ridiculous to make someone homeless on this type of shit, let alone your own daughter. I'm glad you got out of that hell and started a new and better life. Congratulations on your other sister being pregnant and a new job. Screw your mom and Kate. Live life and cut them off forever.
Next story.
I'm 32 weeks pregnant, and I'm having stress and anxiety about needing to have constant conversations with my mother about her babysitting to the point where I almost cannot talk to her for my own mental health. My husband and I have agreed that she can't be left alone with our baby, once born, unless someone is with her. We have discussed that we don't want her around our child as often as she wants, multiple days a week, due to her current and past behavior and issues that occurred during my childhood. My mother and I have never been that close. She has depression and anxiety. Growing up, this manifested in behavior such as bulimia and constant manipulation. She also often lied about things whenever she behaved poorly to make it not her fault. She also has undiagnosed Munchausen syndrome. Growing up, something was constantly wrong with her. Every night she either had a headache, backache, etc. Anything, so that she could get sympathy. This caused a rift in our relationship, especially as I got older and realized that this behavior was not okay. This is not something I want my child around on a regular basis. The other issue is that she was diagnosed with glioblastoma 4.5 years ago. This is a terminal illness which most don't survive for more than 2 years. While we are lucky she's still here, the initial brain tumor left her with deficiencies, including short-term memory loss, impulsivity, and gait issues. She used to be a runner, but had stopped all exercise and is now at the point where she can't do things like get up off the floor or even up from a chair without almost falling. Her doctors have told her that she can do things to improve her walking or physical therapy, but she refuses to do anything due to depression and her love of the sympathy that she gets when she seems more frail. She has made up many excuses for not getting help and sought multiple opinions from doctors to find one that will label her disabled, but none will. This has my husband and I worried that she won't be able to perform basic childcare needs. Her doctors have also told her that to help with short-term memory loss, write things down and then review them. Again, she refuses. My husband and I worry that even if we write down instructions for childcare, she'll just do what she wants, and then she won't remember what she did. My family thinks that we're being too harsh on her and should let her watch our child when she wants to, because we don't know how much longer she'll be around. They also think that we're being ungrateful, that we aren't accepting help. We aren't saying that she can't have a babysit, but due to issues in my childhood and her current status, we don't want her constantly taking care of our child, and in no way do we think that she can do it alone. AITA for not wanting my mother to ever be alone with my baby and wanting to limit contact. NTA, do not entrust your precious newborn to the care of a person who is not only physically and mentally unable to care for an infant, but is also a confirmed child abuser. So much no. If you were to knowingly risk your infant's life by leaving them with such an unsafe babysitter, it would be neglect and grounds to have the infant removed from your care.
Next story.
About 2 or 3 times a month, my girlfriend and I go out to a nice restaurant. For reference, $30 to $50 entrees and $15 cocktails. My girlfriend is more into the whole experience, while I'm more interested in just trying interesting foods. I don't really care for dressing up, and the restaurants around us have pretty relaxed dress codes. My girlfriend is the type of person who will put on makeup and do all her hair up, even if we're not doing anything. Recently, she flat out refused to go with me because I was going to show up in sandals, some comfy pants, a t-shirt, and a hat. To clarify, the clothes weren't raggedy or dirty. I was still clean cut, just not putting on slim pants, a collared shirt, hair product, cologne, etc. It's not just the process of putting these things on, but I also find them uncomfortable both physically and mentally. The circumstances leading to this dinner were somewhat spontaneous. I randomly decided I wanted to try this place, called, and happened to score a reservation about 2 hours before. I just wanted to go try the food and not have it turn into a date night. This kind of thing happened before, but usually I just give in and dress up. I feel like it should be okay to not be fancy once in a while. I ended up dressing up because I didn't feel like arguing. My girlfriend says I'm an a-hole because I should care more about looking nice, especially when she puts in the effort. I say it shouldn't always be necessary, and I'm not telling her how to dress. I put in effort 90% of the time. She also says it's rude to the restaurant to come in looking like that. I definitely stand out a bit from other patrons, but does the restaurant really care? We order a lot, and I tip well. Plus, it was my idea. I made the reservation and I'm paying, which I almost always do. I will say, if I was going to this restaurant with my friends or myself, I do eat at nice places alone sometimes, I would probably be dressed even worse than what I tried this time. Just to clarify, comfy pants doesn't mean sweats or pajamas. In this case, just visibly older and not a flattering fit. Other times it might be shorts, or maybe joggers. But I don't like wearing my slim-fitting pants, especially if I've been exercising a lot and just want to be able to move freely, which is often. I also wear a hat because my hair gets in my eyes if there's no product. I don't like how the product feels, and I already have to wear it 5 days a week for work. Neither my girlfriend nor I like my hair shorter, and my girlfriend hated it when I grew it out enough to tie. YTA, I don't need all the cologne, hair gel, etc., but I would be mortified if my fiancé wore sweats and a baseball cap to a nice restaurant. There's a middle ground here. You know this, of course.